Hi, everybody. Welcome to day 13. We're about to introduce what is, I think, really the central topic of the course. We spent a bunch of time doing programming. We've started learning a little bit about proof. And what we're going to learn today is a proof technique that's probably the single most powerful proof technique you'll ever learn. It's called induction. You might have heard about it before. It's not unheard of for people to see induction in high school or even earlier curricula, but it's not common. So if you haven't heard about it, don't worry about it. We're going to go from the beginning. And then the great news is Cock is really good at induction. So it's going to hold your hand, make sure you get sort of all of the finer points right. Um, the downside to that is, if you're familiar with induction, you might be a little bit annoyed to have your hand held. And I'm just going to ask you to bear with us, right? We're going to go the way that Cock wants to go. So that's what we're going to cover this week. Before we do that, what I want to spend in this video, so you can see my plan of videos over here on the right. What I want to do first is just do some review quizzes about propositions and tactics we've seen so far, just to kind of make sure we're all on the same page. So as usual, these quizzes are not for a grade. I mean, I don't know what you're doing when you watch these videos, but they are for you to check your understanding. So what I want you to do is for each of these, I'll read the question out loud, explain, make sure we've got it, and then I'd like you to pause the video and see if you can figure out the answer. Now, if you can get the answer quickly for all of them, you're in great shape. If you get the answer for most of them, and then the other ones, the answer makes sense, like, oh, you goofed or something, not a big deal, you're doing great. If you don't get any of them, or if you kind of struggle with them, or you don't see the reasons why, then that means you're not sort of fully grounded in the tactics we have so far, which means you're sort of not well set up for today. So the thing to do is to talk to a TA or talk to me about what you're having trouble with any of these tactics. Try to make sure that we're really all on the same page. As we learn induction, as I'll talk about in this micro sermon at the end, as we learn induction, we're going to have some powerful tools in our toolbox. And if you've ever done any serious work with tools, you know you have to respect and understand your tools to be able to get through it. Okay, let's do the review quizzes. Let's just see where we are. So the first one, so for all of these quizzes, I'm basically asking, which tactics do you need, right? Besides intros and reflexivity, what do you need? Nothing else. You're good. That's all you need for this. Maybe not even intros, maybe not even reflexivity, whatever. Maybe you need rewrite on top of those. Maybe you need a destruct. Maybe you need both rewrite and destruct, or you can't do it with the stuff we've seen so far. So apply is not included here. We're not going to really talk about apply for them. Okay. Here's the first one. Which tactics do you need? The answer here is one, none. Reflexivity will simply solve this goal. Cock will simplify this when you type reflexivity, and it'll just say, well, that's true, and you'll be good to go. What about this next one? Now, you might be thinking of some theorems that we've seen. Let's ignore those theorems for a moment. I'm talking about just proving this as it stands here. Which tactics do you need? So to me, this question really comes down to how is OR B defined, right? If OR B is defined by doing a case on its first argument, then it should just immediately return true. So you'll just need an intros to get this, and then a reflexivity will solve the rest. Now, if it's defined on its second argument, you might need a destruct, right? Because you won't reveal the sort of the true that this will return until you've looked at what this B does. Now, it turns out OR B is defined on its first argument, a safe bet. Uh, so just intros and reflexivity, number one, does the trick here. Okay, I hinted at this one. What if we change the order of the arguments? Okay, so here I said, well, look, oh, you might need a destruct if the evaluation of Orbi gets stuck on the match there. So that's right, you need a destruct here. Okay, what about this one? So here, it's again kind of about how things are defined, right? Here, because plus is defined on its first argument, reflexivity will just do you. You can just do intros n, reflexivity, n equals n, you're good to go. Okay, what about this one? This is our last quiz. Okay. So this seems a lot like the or B swapped order of arguments, right? Where we're now the condition is on like sort of Cox's match is going to get stuck on that end. Okay, so then the question is, do you need destruct? It's like, well, destruct seems like it'll get you some of the way. What we're going to see is that actually destruct here is not enough. You need a technique like induction. So that's what will be in the next video. The right answer for this one is can't be done with the tactics we've seen. If you said number 3, that's just fine. But it turns out it doesn't work. If you'd like, you can try on your own to find out why that doesn't work. But we'll see for real why that doesn't work in the next video. Talk to you soon.